Yo, what up? How's it going? And welcome back for another video. Today's video, we are doing G2 versus Fnatic, Game 5 of the LEC Summer Split Finals. We are finally here, so let's get right into the draft. Alrighty, cool. Alright, let's look at this draft. So overall, before we even dive into it at all, I think G2 got the much better draft. And it is so hard in this series to get the better draft on blue side. I think red side is so important in this series. You know, even the analysts talked about this. You know, I watched a little bit of the video before we started, but like I think red side is so important because both teams have shown they can play the 1-3-1. They've shown that if they get side lane advantages, they can just win. They can just win through those solo lanes and actually, you know, get those. And when one of those teams are ahead and they're winning in the side lanes, as soon as they have side lane control, they're willing to like push in, get the quadrant of control that they want, and then actually punish the enemy team and get fights on their own, you know, on their own volition, on their own advantage. So that's why I think red side is so important. And Fnatic's draft is very interesting. Right here, they saved their last pick for Ornn, which was pretty weird. It seems like that's what they wanted to play, and they're kind of in their terms of Blippo's pool of champions he wants to play in this series, I definitely got down to the bottom of the barrel. And I don't think Ornn pick was the answer here, but let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about the draft as a whole. So finally, G2 takes the Akali side of the matchup. And in the series so far, it's the Akali side of the matchup. Oh my gosh. The Akali side of the matchup has been winning. What is happening? There we go. The Akali side of the matchup has been winning most of the games and been winning most of the matchup. I said it in each game. Akali normally wins 1 through 5. Silas has an advantage at 6 because of his kit. And you just take Akali's ultimate. He's better at utilizing it with the Kingslayer. And then at level 9, normally Akali wins. And in the late game, it's just kind of whoever's ahead. And you're mainly team fight focusing anyways. So finally, we take the Akali side of the matchup. I personally favor the Akali side of the matchup anyways, but in the series, it's been shown the Akali side of the matchup has been winning out most of the time. All right, and then Fnatic take, the bans are pretty standard, so don't really need to talk about the bans. And then Fnatic take Sylas side of the matchup, which is expected, and the Gragas, which, you know, pairs pretty well with the Sylas, but gives you that disengage. So now you have the option to, you know, gives you an engage option and gives you the option of a 1-3-1. Gragas is great at facilitating 1-3-1, and G2 has been taking it at the first chance they can get most of the time anyways. All right, and then G2 instantly answer with the Olaf, which Olaf has a great matchup into the Gragas. You farm way better. You win hard in the 1v1. It's hard for Gragas to do anything in the 1v1. He slows you, but then you slow him, and you just run at him and beat his ass. So it's a hard-winning matchup. Hard-winning matchup for the Olaf, and they already know they can... they have kind of a fighting advantage in mid lane early in the game with the Akali, and so the Sylas matchup should be Akali favored in the early game. Cool. So Olaf is a little bit dangerous to pick early in the draft because you don't know if you're going to have priority matchups, because you could just have a hard losing top side and now you can never go top lane. So it is a little bit risky picking it this early in the draft, but you do think it's going to get banned in the second phase. Because Jankos can play the pick. So maybe you're scared it's going to get banned in the second phase if you don't pick it now. So they pick it now. It's a little bit risky picking it now, but let's go. And they pick the Thresh. Thresh worked out pretty well in the last game for disengage and all that good stuff. Thresh pick is just decent right here. Not really much more to say about the Thresh pick. You would maybe think they would pick a Xayah here since Xayah's still up. But they don't actually elect to do that because they're going to show their Syndra in this game. Cool. Alrighty, so we get the now we get the Xayah picked right here, which is pretty expected. I don't really need to talk about the Xayah pick right here. It's pretty expected, highest priority champion in the game. Alright, when we get over the bans, Fnatic actually banned out the Kled. That's just what been G2's blind pick every game. So I don't mind that. They ended up banning out Ezreal as well. Oh, well, hold on. G2 ban out the freaking Gangplank, and then Fnatic ban out the Ezreal. Obviously, hindsight's 2020, and you should probably ban Renekton here. But I'm not just talking about a hindsight. I've been so surprised that there's been no, especially in Europe and in NA, people aren't willing to pick Renekton in the first phase. Whereas you look in China, like Akali's banned every game, so that never even comes up. But you'll see teams that'll use their first pick on Renekton if Akali's banned, because Renekton is the safest weak side champion, and has so many good matchups already. It's so hard to dive Renekton. He actually scales great into the mid game and does decent in the late game now with Sojin. So I was so surprised that this pick hasn't been picked too much, especially hasn't been picked a whole lot recently in the playoffs, like first rounded. So I would have liked Renekton ban right there. Obviously hindsight's 2020, but just in general, like if you look at the LPL, they pick it in the first phase every single game if it's up. Almost every single team does. So I was pretty surprised this didn't come out earlier. Renekton's the safest, probably the safest blind pick in the entire game. Like safer than Gangplank, and Gangplank's banned out. G2 ban out Jax, because Jax is the answer that they've been having, the counter pick they've been having every game. And Jax does have a pretty decent matchup into Renekton if you can time your counter strike with the Renekton stun after he slices. Okay, and now Fnatic pick Ornn. Okay, so now obviously they're pretty low in their champion priority. Karma didn't look great for Bwipo, so they don't want to pick that. All the champions they've been picking have been banned. He doesn't really show Aurelia too much. Now we lock in the Ornn. So Ornn is actually a Bwipo special. You go back to Worlds, when everybody was picking, when it was just Aatrox and Urgot that were able to be picked, there was actually some games where Ornn was picked and he would get solo kills. Like, it happens. In this specific matchup, it's hard to imagine Ornn ever getting an advantage. Honestly, like Renekton just slices in, stuns, Qs, and dices out. And I don't know where the counterplay is, because the counterplay would be you throw out your Q on the Ornn as soon as the slice comes through. And then you start, and then after he stuns you, you charge as soon as the stun's over, or maybe buffer the stun, and you knock him up wherever the Ornn pillar was, but you can just dice the other direction. So, and then if you slice in, stun, Q, and then dice out, you throw your pillar down. The amount of time it takes you to wait for that pillar to come up to charge, it's only like half a second. But Renekton's gonna already be, you would imagine, already be out of the range. Maybe you can trade back. Maybe I'm wrong about that trading pattern, but that's how I imagine that trading pattern going. So I don't know that's not definitely not a counter pick and lane. I imagine to be slamming, and has a lot of dive potential with the Olaf. And as soon as Renekton gets level 6, he pops a Dominus, dashes in on you, gets the extended stun with the Fury, with the 50 Fury stacked up, and then Olaf just walks in your face and murders you. So I think that was just Bwipo getting chipped down as champion pool a little bit. So, all right, let's skip ahead and let's see what the let's skip ahead and actually look at the team compositions. What is happening?
To be so careful in the early game.
Oh my gosh. Shut up. And look at the compositions and see what they do. Cool. Oh, they have to remake draft on this one. I remember that. Okay, let's just have the Akali and Thresh switch. They have to remake draft. I forgot about that. Because they didn't actually get the switch those. That'd be hilarious if Mickey played Akali though. Cool. Alright, let's look at this draft. So let's first look at G2's draft. It's hard to talk about these drafts individually because they're so made for each other. And G2's draft is made for Fnatic, so it's hard to talk about them individually, but I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to talk about what they actually do in the game. Alright, so you have Renekton as a weak side champion, or you can play strong side on him if you want to. And like, you pick Renekton as a weak side champion because you expect to be counterpicked, but they weren't counterpicked, so they actually have an advantage in mid lane, top lane. Syndra can get priority advantage in bottom lane, and you have an Olaf. So this is like a dream Olaf draft. And you have ways to get Olaf out of fight, so if he plays crazy hard aggressive, Renekton can come in with him, or you can have the Thresh pull you right out of that fight. The Akali has so much dive. They have a lot of dive potential, a lot of burst potential on this team. So yeah, so you have 3 strong lanes actually in the early game. So Olaf can play whatever he wants. He can split map whichever side he wants. So there's a lot of options for the Olaf. So Olaf should get a lead. He has a positive jungle matchup and then positive lane matchups all around the map. or at least neutral at the worst. Okay, they actually have great side lane control, great disengage. They can play 1-3-1 if they want, but really what this team comp is looking for, they're not looking to get to the late game and play 1-3-1. What they're really looking for is getting advantages in the early game, and they have a hard spiking in the mid game. I mean, everybody knows Renekton on one item. We're just Renekton, not even at one item, but just early in the game, early mid game is just insane. And his one item is insane if you build, whether or not you build Black Cleaver or Sojin, he's insane. And that two item, he's actually still great. Olaf, Olaf speaks for himself. I don't need to talk about that. This is a perfect Olaf game. Syndra, her strongest point in the game is on pin boots and one item. Whether that's going to be Ludens or whether it's going to be something else. But her strongest point in the game is that pin boots one item. And then she does decent for a little bit of the game, and it kind of falls off a little bit late game. You can still pick off carries, but it is harder to one-shot people in the late game. And in that mid game, you just spike so hard. Akali, one item, speaks for itself. So they have a hard spiking in the mid game, have lane advantages everywhere, and have an Olaf to supplement that, to just run over this game. So far with this draft, I just see G2 just running through this game. I'm pretty sure that's what happens. With this draft, they should just run through this game. Okay, now looking at our Fnatic side. So what they want to do, this is totally the draft that is, please, let's get Ornn level 16, and let's get those 5 Ornn items, and then we look for a huge team fight, and we win the game. I don't mind that, but the only issue with Fnatic's comp is that they're giving all of the momentum to G2's comp. You're giving them the keys, and you're letting them go where they want with it. So if G2 plays how they're supposed to play in the early game, by the time you get to the late game, you should be at a big disadvantage, and maybe it could be equalized in the Ornn item gold, and that you have a really great team fight. It's not like G2's comp can't team fight. So basically, on Fnatic's comp, you're trying to minimize damage in the early game to get to that Ornn late game, that Xayah late game, that Gragas, that, you get those upgraded items, and then you get that big explosive team fight, and you win the game off of that. But this is purely getting to the late game and looking for a team fighting. So they do have some options in terms of, maybe you can get a kill in the bottom lane with their setup with the Gragas, Xayah, and Shin. But Syndra and Thresh have so much ways to deal with the Shin dashing in. You can use the scatter the weak. You can use the flay. You can hook him out of his dash. They actually have a lot of ways to deal with this, and unless Shin has flash up. So if Shin has flash up, you still have a lot of setup in there. There's a lot of lanes to have gank setup, but you can just imagine Olaf's going to be everywhere and just murdering your team. So hard advantage to G2, honestly. I really think Fnatic ran it down in draft. I think G2 just drafted really great as well. They have this hard spiking in mid game. Huge snowball comp with Olaf. This is a perfect Olaf. You should not get it's so hard to get a perfect Olaf game if you draft him at your second pick, which is what they did. It should be so hard to get an Olaf comp if you have to draft it that early, but they end up getting it. So, really think this is a huge draft win in this game. So hard for Fnatic to win this game. Unless you get that, you get to the late game, you stalled out enough, you get that cream dream ultimate. Let's see. This game's a hard stomp, I believe, right? Let's see. See how it happens. This game is actually so easy to play for G2. They just have to play aggressive. They win. Yankos went for Predator, so able to do Predator ganks. Sometimes you see Conquer on Olaf. Alright. Pretty standard starts. Yeah, so Gragas is just mirroring at the moment. He's going to be doing Krug's Clear, so he's actually not he's not mirroring. He's going to do Krug's Clear. You do want to avoid the Gragas, or as Gragas you want to avoid Olaf. And Olaf, you start blue up so you can just spam Qs. And then you double buff, and then you kill minions. Oh, Wonder's taking the Akali. Oh, shoot, I'm an idiot. Well, this is still a great. Akali is great in the tanks, especially she's great in the tanks. She just sit there and punish in the melee tanks. And then Renekton. I'm sorry, I talked about this matchup because I didn't trade correctly. And Renekton's great in the Sylas. Renekton's great in the melees, and Sylas only has a magic shield now. He doesn't have a health shield. So, same thing. This is even better matchups for them. It was already good matchups, and it's even better matchups now. And I wonder if they took the wrong runes. Imagine. Oh no, actually they get to see them. They get to see them pick. It would have been crazy if Cap still took the Akali and went top lane, and I bet they would have taken the wrong defensive rune. That would have been cool. Brox is looking for a play. Brox has a lot of lanes he can play around. He's never going to out-farm the Olaf, and he never wants to see Olaf. So, Olaf full cleared already by 315. Oh, this is tragedy strikes on the rift. Oh no. You hate to see that. Get a kill in the 2v2 this early in the game. When it seems like that might be the only lane you might be able to play around. Oh no, and then Mickey just gets to leave. You sure hate to see that. They have 3 losing lanes now. Oh, you have 3 losing lanes. You have an... Oh, the enemy has an Olaf, dude. What are you even supposed to do? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, this is one of Akali's, like, whenever I play Akali and I get an Ornn that I'm playing against, you know, obviously I'm not playing with pro players, but, like, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a free lane. I just get to do whatever I want. I can take Klepto if I want to. Nah, I take Conqueror, though. Oh my. Okay. Alright, Fnatic get one back on the Thresh. G2's TPing in. They trade 1 for 1 so far. Reckless is dead. That's so much better for G2. You know, you trade support for AD. You lose out on the XP. Syndra has so much ability to push this early in the game if they want to push. Oh yeah, this is funny. Oh, like, of course he's gonna do that. That was a misplay by Wonder. Like, of course he's just standing next to the turret so that if you come in, he instantly knocks you up. Oh my gosh, this would be so punishing if you got it. Oh, okay. They just gifted over a kill. The idea there was if they kill Reckless there, he's completely out of the game and the game's over. Like that was like the idea. Is like the game's pretty much over if you go Reckless there. They're like so far behind, it's insane. But they don't. They actually just give him a free kill. That was so bad, dude. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, the idea there is you deny that minion wave, you kill him, and he's completely out. But now it's just going to be G2 doing whatever they want. They did just gift Xayah a kill, but she's still 200 behind. So that's fine. They still don't have a lane that's winning. Fnatic doesn't. And they're not going to either. Their comp just wants to get to the late game without losing too much. So far, they're about almost 2,000 behind. So right there, what Hylissang was doing is he was stopping the push, is what he was doing. When you were watching this on broadcast, they were talking about, I'm surprised he went in so early. Broxah wasn't ready. But the idea was he was stopping this lane push so that Reckless could get back and get the farm. That was really the main point of that. Then they can set up a freeze. That was the idea there. It wasn't really about the kill. If they did get the kill and Gragas was able to get in there, that would have been the trade-off. But the idea was holding the wave. It wasn't about getting the kill. But obviously, you know, I am not trying to shit talk to casters or anything like that. They did a great job in this series. It was just, you know, it's hard to see things when they're happening in the moment. You know, because you're looking at so much stuff. Alright, Bwipo just walks down here. He doesn't have ultimate, so they are going to end up getting that Nemesis flashed. Yeah. So did Bwipo. So they lost 2 flashes. Killed Wonder. Okay, good play. Bwipo didn't have to flash there. Broxah was going to get a kill with the cask. Okay. Hey, that was a good play. Minimizing damage. I love Ornn. Ornn's fun. I love, like, building items is fun. Alright. Now Olaf should be able to get a dragon here. Pretty easy. If he wants to. Oh, he's just going to clear out vision. Yeah, and that's a kill. Yeah, man, if they ever land anything, it's so hard. Oh no. Tragedy strikes on the Rift. And now they can get plates and dragon. Oh no. I might get a trade back kill. Oh, Yankos left the dragon? Should just let him die. He could have had a dragon by now, I would imagine. Still positive play for Fnatic. They get or not Fnatic, I mean G2, they get 3 plates. There's another kill. Oh, nice. I said Broxa has so much gank setup, so like Wonder's 1 and 3, but in this lane it's not gonna feel like that. Like this lane is so easy. He's level 9 now. He can actually wave clear if he wants to. Yeah, Bwupa's like, I mean his Ornn is great. Like he's actually navigating this early game pretty well. Oh. Oh no. Bwupa TP'd in. He didn't ult. You're in such a weird position. Ult there. Broxa does get a trade back kill, but it's just on Mickey, so kind of who cares. Now they finally get the Drake to get another kill. Ugh. And now they're just gonna reset, and they might do a lane swap here to get priority on the. Oh, I never made my camera smaller. To get priority on the Rift Herald. Their bottom lane is hard snowballing. Let's see what they actually do. This is a replay. Yeah, they do lane swap. Okay. It's just so they can get Rift Herald. It is past 14 minutes, so they're not going to get any more plates with it, but this to have priority on Rift Herald side. He's dead. Such an easy setup. And now they had Renekton in lane with Ornn, and he has Sojin, and Ornn has MR items. Ugh. Man. Yeah, this game is snowballing so hard. Like I said it would, by the way. Like with this draft, this is actually what's supposed to happen. And G2 is so good at snowballing. Yeah, Fnatic really ran it down and drafted IMO. Man, Syndra's looking good though. It's all sneaky practicing it. Nice. I think there's a lot of mages that are good in the bottom lane that just people aren't playing. Nice. They get 2 towers. Now they just want to break this bottom outer. And Cloud's going to be up on 130. They can break that bottom outer whenever they want to, though. So right now, it's so early in the game, it's too hard to close out. So this game is going to stall out a little bit. They don't have a lot of... So the drawback of not having an 80 carry is you don't have a lot of Baron damage. They don't have a lot of Baron damage, and their siege is very average. Syndra is okay on siege because she can just scatter the weak constantly. Every time it's up, but every time you scatter the weak, you leave the opportunity to get engaged on. So it's not like having an 80 carry. So closing out with the closing out, they do need a Baron in order to do it. And so you'll want to see G2 get this neutral and then maybe start setting up. They can pick a quadrant of the map to set up on, probably going to be above the Baron pit. Pick that quadrant of the map, and they have to actually get like at least a 3-man wipe with the jungler included for them to be able to Baron. Their Baron damage is pretty low, other than the Olaf. Their Baron damage is pretty low. And it's so hard. It's actually semi-difficult for them to siege because they don't have an 80 carry. Syndra's siege is okay. Alright, so they got the double cloud, right? And they're going to have a triple cloud, okay. So free Mobies. Interesting. Okay. Fnatic get, let's do the Hylissang play with Shen. Okay, so far this fight's not going too bad for Fnatic. Hey, Fnatic actually find a fight. There we go. Alright. Okay. They make the play with Hylissang. And they're trying to force Baron hard. I like the idea here, but now Brox is so chunked. Yeah, they're not gonna be able to do it now. They're trying to do Baron on spawn because that's their only opportunity ever to do it. They're still insanely far behind, but now they lose 3 people, and that might be a G2 Baron, right? Yeah, that is. Yeah, as I said, kill 3 people, including the jungler, then you can actually fight for Baron. Ooh, big yikes. Yeah, Broxah just can't face check that. Maybe should have been Hillising face checking. You don't mind if he gets chunked. Yeah, you can't. He has Sojin, buddy. Oof. Oof. That's Sojin Renekton. The Spear Sojin is one of my favorite items. Like, it's so cool that they're, like, you know, there's 2 ways of thinking about this, but, like, I love that there's an item that warps the game to where, like, it adds another layer. You know, some people wouldn't like something that kind of warps the game a little bit, but I'm actually kind of a huge fan of, it just adds another, makes the game way more interesting. That there's an item timing on certain champions where you know, like, all right, this champion's going to be insane for the next, like, 10 minutes because he has this item. Or, like, champions that previously didn't scale are allowed to play the game now. All right, so I didn't talk about what just happened. They just traded bot tier 2 for Cap's life and got damage onto the other tower. It is difficult to siege, as I said before, with G2's comp. But when you have Baron, it's a little bit easier. And you can look for some of these fights. Even on their tower. Nice. Slow sieging. They got some chip damage on the mid inhibitor tower as well. Nice, they got the cannon, so they get that. They're just getting a lot of gold right now. Probably won't end on this push. Yeah, they're not going to end on this push. But they'll get, they should be able to set up around this, oh wait, not the Infernal. They set up around the next Baron. Get a fight in the jungle, you wipe them again, and you get a big pick. So if Perks dies, like, if Perks was to die there, it actually wouldn't mean anything. Like, it actually doesn't mean anything. That's why you don't see a bunch of flashes expended to get those. That fight is really actually worthless. So G2, honestly, right now they're just going to play for this next Baron. They get a fight around Baron, they get the fight. They take Baron, they end the game. Fnatic knows that, so probably what's going to happen now is Fnatic is most likely, they should be looking for a fight somewhere. That's like their only option, you know? They need to look for a fight. Because they know what's going to happen in a minute. In a minute, they're going to be blocked out of vision. They're going to have to face check something. Nice. They get a good fight right there, but there's still nothing up. They expended 3 flashes. And look at G2 side. They have all their flashes. You need to look for a fight, but not quite this early. You need to look for a fight when there's about like 20 seconds left. But the idea here is, the idea of getting that fight, I mean, if you're able to get the fight, that's great. So that was great, them getting that fight. The idea here is that they can now get vision around this area so they don't have to face check and die in the G2's comp. So that's why they fought there. But what the problem is they expended all of their flashes, and G2 have all of theirs. So it's going to be very difficult to do this. So G2's, they're actually having to back right now. And the idea here now is maybe Fnatic can set up in a brush and get a kill and win a team fight, take the Baron in the game. Or, you know, get their huge gold swing and then they win on the next Baron. That's the idea here, is that maybe that could happen. So that's why they took that fight. So now they have to get like a brush and get like a really cheesy engage. If not, if they're just on an even state, they have all their flashes and their heads. So it's going to be so tough in this next fight. The Fnatic are basing because they really need to reset their gold. They still have vision control around the Baron. They're about to lose it though. Now they don't have their flashes for the next fight. Blippo is the only one with flash, and it's not like that one matters. Shortest ult I've ever seen. Now they don't have Ornn ult for the next fight. I remember watching that live. I was like, man, that's so bad they wasted Ornn ult. It's like Ornn's entire value right now, other than building Ornn items. Might have ultimate for the next fight though. His ult's pretty short cooldown. He is not level 16, so it is still a little bit longer. Alright, yeah, they're just gonna solo Infernal. Oh, here we go. Oh, I remember this play. Actually, 2-man in. Looking good for Fnatic so far. They actually get the dragon. I think this is the game-ending fight. But everybody TP'd in. And then, as I said before, they all have their flashes this fight, so it's so much easier for G2 to play the fight. That was such a chaotic fight, and G2 had flashes. That's why that fight went so one-sided. I'm not going to really break down the TPs coming in and stuff like that. It was just, they got the GA of Yankos, and then everybody TP'd in, and it was an even fight, or everybody walked in, or whatever, and now it's like a 5v5. But G2's comp have all their ultimates and their flash. And Bwipo didn't even have ultimate that fight, so. And he flashed to get that kill initially. Alright, here's a replay. Alright, Hillsing comes in. Oh, okay, we don't get to see it. Whatever, I mean, we know what happened. And I just explained it as well. Okay, maybe we do get a replay. Zerber's working overtime. Yeah, they have to expend so much to kill Olaf. Hillsing dies immediately, and Bwipo doesn't even have ult in this fight. And then remember, they all have their flashes. Now it's going to be at a time where Fnatic have their flashes, but they're in such a disadvantage in terms of the map state. So Hillsing does have his flash, so maybe we can make a play like this. Flashes are very important. Flash timings are very important. But the map state is just so broken for Fnatic right now, it's very difficult. Yep, and that's the end of the game. Once you get that pick, it's so hard to do anything. It doesn't mean the game's going to end, but it means that you get Baron, or you get either you get Baron, or they have to face check you right here, and that's essentially most likely the end of the game. Yeah. Once you lose Baron here, it is so hard for Fnatic to win. I mean, I've been saying this whole game. This game is just so hard for Fnatic to win. You have double supers, and you could just push in the supers mid and top if you want to. Or you can just look for a hard end, but I think the easiest thing is to just have supers crash mid at the same time it's crashing top. Fnac's just trying to get a little bit of gold. Maybe they're on an item timing. That's only their second tower of the game. Alright, and once that ult's down, you can't do anything. Minions are crashing mid, so it makes getting this bottom tower super easy. They have a cannon minion. Once you take this bottom tower, it's open season. You get a pick onto Shin. Yeah, this game's over. This game was over from draft, honestly. Like, there were some moments where Fnatic could come back into the game, like just now, but it was so hard, dude. It was so hard in draft. You give the perfect Olaf game over to G2. 3 losing lanes, and they have an Olaf. It's so hard to win. I didn't realize how bad the draft was in this game. Like, or how, like, not how bad the draft is, but like how mismatched the draft was. And there we go. That's the end of the game. It was a fun series to break down. You know, everybody's doing VOD reviews for this series, but I'll have VOD reviews up for. I'm going to try to do. This is really ambitious. I'm going to try to do. For every single team that it's at Worlds, I want to do the last best of 5 they've played in their region. So for every team, that's Japan, bro. That's the VCS. That's Latin America. I'm doing all of them. I'm just pretending like I'm prepping for Worlds. I'm pretending like I work on the broadcast, and I'm prepping as if I have to cast these games. That's essentially what I'm doing. I'm gonna put them all online for viewing pleasure. It's gonna be like 120 videos. It's insane, bro. But I have like a month to get it done, so we can get it done. Gotta do like 4 videos a day. Okay. Anyways, hey, thanks so much for watching. This series was really fun to do. Hope you guys enjoyed this stuff. If you did, you know, it's game 5, so maybe somebody watched this one. If you didn't, it's fine. I mean, obviously, if you didn't watch it, you're not here, so I don't even know why I'm talking to you. You know, everybody's VOD reviewing this series, but I'll be doing all of them. I'm on that grind, bro. So if you're into VOD reviews and you're into learning about some League of Legends, then, you know, stick around on this channel, because that's what we do here. I have enough time, you know. All the other people doing VOD reviews, you know, they have jobs like that, like, you know, not that I don't work, but they have like jobs already in the industry, so they're not able to do stuff like this because they have to, you know, actually prep for the work that they have to do in their week. So if you stick around with me, I'll be able to show you a lot more, show you a lot of videos, show you a lot of VOD reviews. So yeah, hey, thanks so much for watching. It means a lot to me. And I'll see you on the next one. We'll be doing TSM and Clutch, I believe, is the next series we're doing. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.